Being an introvert is so vast and deep. Being an introvert doesn't mean I hate socializing or I'm quiet all the time. In fact, I'm an extrovert with those I'm closest and most comfortable with. Being an introvert is far deeper than being quiet and reserved. Being an introvert means my social battery drains more than others or than those with an abundance of energy. It's okay to be an introvert. I'm not quiet all the time. But when I'm in situations and gatherings where I'm not comfortable or in my most suited environment, that's when my introvert side comes out. A huge misconception about introverts is that they're always shy and silent. That's not true. I mean, since I'm talking personally here, I've always been shy by nature, but not to the point where I'm silent. My true character and extroverted energy comes out when I'm with people I feel most comfortable with and secure. People can think what they want. This is not about getting out of my comfort zone because I actively always try things that get me out of my comfort zone. But I've also realized I can accept myself as an introvert and not feel like I need to change myself to please others. I hate being in loud, overcrowded environments. I prefer peace over chaos. I prefer small circles than large groups. No matter how many people shame introverts, I will never feel ashamed about being an introvert. It's not something I can change. Why would I feel shameful for that? I accept that I'm an introvert and an extrovert around people I feel most comfortable with. Not everyone needs to experience that. Not everyone will believe that, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not. And something I've realized is that people will always try to change that, no matter what. I know who I am. I know when I'm most comfortable. I know my personality. There's nothing wrong with me or introverts. I'm more of an observer than a talker. That doesn't mean I don't talk. I can talk literally for hours. I love deep conversations. Conversations that have real meaning. Something that I hate is small talk. And something that people should realize is that when an introvert opens up to you, just know you're special to them. I'm an introvert and an extrovert to those who bring me comfort and happiness. If I don't want to talk because I'm drained physically and emotionally from socializing, I won't talk. Let people say what they want. I'm not out here bashing people and forcing and expecting from them things that they can't do or change. It speaks more of people that want to control you and expect unrealistic standards from you. I'm not out here expecting people to change unless they want to, and this is far from that. I would love for people to be more accepting of more quiet people and introverts and letting them naturally come out when they want to and not forcing it. I feel like a lot of people, especially those around me, expect me to be a certain way for their benefit, and it's honestly exhausting. I'm not doing anything. I'm not harming anyone. I don't need to share my whole personality to people I don't know or feel comfortable with. Yesterday I had a conversation with one of my closest friends, and she's an introvert as well. Not all introverts are the same, but we really felt like that we could understand each other. And I was talking to her how I feel like a lot of people have expectations of me as being an introvert, especially in social gatherings. And they want things from me. They want me to be this person. They want me to be outgoing and talkative to the people around me, even if they're not my preferred people to socialize with, or to force something onto me that I can't do and that I won't do, because I won't be forced to change myself. I won't be controlled. If people don't like my personality, I couldn't care less. It honestly speaks more about people that are projecting that negativity towards people and expecting them, and expecting so much and asking for so much. And I'm not out here doing the same, because what I'm not going to do is force people or to expect them to be a type of person for my benefit. And something I always ask myself is, I wouldn't want people to benefit from what I'm doing unless it's good and I'm getting benefits also. However, if it's just other people gaining the benefits and me lowering myself to please them or to change myself so they can accept me, that is something that I will not do, because for most of my life I lived that way. For most of my life I was a people pleaser. For most of my life I was expected to just change for people, do whatever people wanted me to do for them and not for me, hurt myself in the process, disrespect myself in the process. You know, do things for people, do favors for people, literally like letting people walk all over me so they can benefit from that, and so people won't hate me or dislike me, or I don't know, feel some sort of way about me, even if they were to say anything about my character, it wouldn't be true, and it's just their hateful energy projecting that onto me. Until I set boundaries, until I stop that people-pleasing tendency. And even now, like I always talk about this, being a people-pleaser, or being a people-pleaser in the past, it's something that slowly, gradually goes away, but it doesn't completely go away. It will, like, I realize myself that, like, sometimes I get into this people-pleasing tendency, or I have these thoughts that aren't even my thoughts. They're just a trigger reaction, or just something that I experienced in the past. And when I finally opened my eyes and realized the people that were surrounding me, the people that were in front of me, how different they were, because I was disrespecting myself by choosing to stay in environments that weren't respectful, that weren't nice, that were absolutely draining, left me exhausted mentally and physically after being in those environments that are just negative and hateful. That's when I just took myself out. So what I won't do is, I'm not going to prove my personality to anyone. I'm not going to try to make people like me. The people that like me will like me. And frankly, I don't like everyone. So it's not realistic for me to go and beg for everyone's acceptance when I don't even like everyone on this earth. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. And being an introvert has nothing to do with social anxiety. Social anxiety is something completely different, and everyone goes through social anxiety or has gone through it at one point in their life. You can be confident but an introvert at the same time. Being an introvert is basically you preferring peace over chaos, you not wanting to socialize with everyone, you know? You preserving your energy, you protecting your energy. And it's not a bad thing. There's something so powerful about being a confident introvert, and that's who I am. Whereas if I were to talk about myself, you know, back then, how I was back then, because I made an entire episode about people pleasing, and I talked about how much of a people pleaser I was, specifically in secondary school, from the ages of, I would say even primary school. I was basically like primary school to secondary school. That was really you know, my years of people pleasing, but the most severe were my years in secondary school, from year 7 to year 9, because obviously I stopped midway of year 9, because that's when we moved back to Saudi. So yeah, but like if I were to live there, because I've changed throughout the years, I've stopped these harmful habits, and I've created boundaries. I have more respectful friendships, and I don't let anyone that I don't like, that drain me, that hurt me time and time again, disrespect me time and time again, back into my life, because I was stuck with people that I didn't want to let go of, because I didn't want to get out of that comfort zone, even though they were hurting me and disrespecting me, not giving what I give, not treating me the way that I deserve, you know? So when I got out of that, I finally felt like I could see, and I finally saw people for who they are. Because I was constantly told that I was crazy, that I was too sensitive, that I was out of my mind. But those very same people that would tell me that I'm crazy and too sensitive were the people that were benefiting from me disrespecting myself for their benefit. People benefit from you lowering yourself and you not having any respect for yourself, and not setting boundaries, and not telling them what needs to be said, and just letting people walk all over you. Those people that do the walking benefit from it. So when I finally took myself out of those environments, I finally felt like I could see that I had a sense of worth. I finally realized my worth, and I didn't need to stay in those environments. And even to this day, people still shame me for that, for taking myself out of environments that were mentally and physically harmful. Because obviously, when you're mentally drained, you also feel exhausted. You feel exhausted mentally and physically, you know? Like I can't like socialize after that. Like I don't want to see them. I don't want to socialize with them, because every time I would socialize, my energy would just get sucked out of me. You know, because I was just around people that I didn't like, and that didn't respect me, and that were doing things behind my back and treating me in a way that I didn't deserve. And me constantly forgiving, going back to that kind of environment, and going back to that people pleasing tendency, because I was expected to do that, because other people wanted that from me as well. They wanted me to just stay and not say anything, not defend myself, not set boundaries, just stay silent and just endure. In the meantime, I was hurt and I was confused. I was overthinking. I felt like that I was going crazy, because people were telling me that I was crazy, even though I knew it for years and years and years, that this is not an environment that I want to be in, because of how harmful it was for me mentally as well. And because how different I am to those people in terms of morals, in terms of personality. This is not to shame those people, but at the same time, when you're around that negativity, I want to be friends with people. I want to be with people that I want to be like, that I am inspired by, that I get a motivation from, that I get some sort of inspiration, good character, respectful. I don't like people who gossip. I don't like people who talk badly about others, who shame others, who put people in a bad light. I don't want to be around people who are like that. So when I finally released myself from that, I finally felt at peace. So this is all to say that being an introvert has nothing to do with social anxiety. I am confident within myself. Therefore, I'm not going to drain my energy on people that I have no interest in. I'm not going to do that. I have friends. I am content. I am happy. Anyone that shames me or shames my personality simply doesn't see me worthy enough for realizing that or even seeing it clearly. I couldn't care less what people say about me because it's not the truth. I am so confident within myself and the things that I do because everything that I do has a reason behind it. Every boundary that is set has something that happened before me setting that boundary, which made me set that boundary. I don't do things for no reason. And frankly, I'm getting tired and I'm sick of proving myself to people, proving my worth, giving people explanations to why I did this, when it was to protect myself. And the people that won't understand that aren't right for me, aren't the people that have my best interest in their heart. Because a real friend, a person that cares for you and that wants the best for you, at the same time respects you, listens, understands, will understand when you take yourself out of an environment or out of a friend group, a relationship that was harmful and toxic. The people that will constantly ask answers, that will shame you for what you did based on your reaction to the disrespect that you were dealing with for years and years and years, are people that are so ignorant and that are so blind to the point where even if you show them all the evidence, they will not believe it. Because some people are stubborn like that. I'm telling you, some people just won't believe you, even if you had no bad intentions, even if you spent so many years people pleasing and hurting yourself mentally, literally being so drained and constantly enduring the hurt, the pain, just for people's approval, are the same people that will ask of that from you. And I'm telling you, I'm not living in this world to please people because you can't please anyone. So I am confident in myself as an introvert. I am content with my friends. If I want to go ahead and make another friend, I will successfully do it. I'm not going to try to communicate with everyone and anyone and try to become everyone's friend, even if they didn't respect me, even if they didn't care for me, just so people see that I have friends. I have friends. It doesn't matter the number. Quality over quantity. That is not just with clothes, materialistic items, but with people as well. I don't care if I had 100 people liking me, but they didn't respect me or they hated me, in the inside, and they were fake, but they still liked me, Or I would rather have meaningful friends that like me, respect me, treat me with respect, kindness, compassion, understanding, empathy, than have 100,000 people saying they like me when in reality they didn't. Because I don't like 100,000 people. So why would I care if 100,000 people liked me when I have no idea about their intentions? I have no idea who they are, and they don't respect me, They walk all over me. Because for so many years, especially in secondary school, I was in friendship groups, specifically large friendship groups, or even friendship groups that were not as small. And I never felt so invisible in my life other than when I was in those friendship groups. There were loads of people in that friendship group, and me and my friend were in those friendship groups together. And me and my friend, till this day, we're together, I'm content with her. I have other friends too, but I'm content. I don't need 1,000 people. I don't need 10 people. I don't need 50 people to be my friend. I'm content with the friends that I have. So in the end, it worked out for us because I felt so invisible. I was constantly disrespected. I felt so lonely. Even though I was surrounded by lots of people, I felt so lonely. I felt invisible. I wasn't respected. I was, you know, I got walked all over for their benefit. I was silent. I was a people pleaser to them. So when I got out of that, what really matters in the end is who sticks with you and who stuck with me. My best friend that I'm still friends with till this day. And she is one of the bestest people to ever exist in my life. So I'm so grateful for her. So when people assume or think that because you're not in a large friendship group that you don't have any friends, you don't need to say anything to that, because I don't need to have 10 people that are my friends that don't actually respect me just so people on the outside assume that because I'm introverted that I'm not social or I don't want to make friends, when that is far from the truth. And being an introvert means that I'm more of an observer than a talker. I'm a talker as well. I can talk for hours if I want to and have no problem with it. But I observe the people around me. I observe the energies around me. I observe people before trying to make a relationship with them. And that's not to say I'm just silent with people. No, I try to make conversation, but if I'm not happy or if I'm not in a situation or an environment that isn't to my liking, that obviously has an effect on how I show up, or my personality and my full extrovertedness that comes out when I'm with my closest friends, people that I'm most comfortable with and I'm most happy with and most content with. That's not going to come out easily for me unless I'm with those people. The right people will always come. Don't think that just because people have a label of you or have put a label on you because you're an introvert and say that you're not social or you don't like company, you don't like people in general. That is not true. Being an introvert has nothing to do with being social, because I am social. I try to make friends. I'm not just silent all the time. That's not who I am. I couldn't live that way. And I wouldn't be able to live on this life with no friends. But it doesn't mean I need to have the whole world to like me. I don't have to be friends with everyone, just for people to see that I'm social. People that won't believe me, that's on them. That is their opinion, but does it make it fact? No, it doesn't. So whatever you do, don't let people try to shame you for you being an introvert. Because I'm telling you, introverted people are so powerful, especially introverts that are confident within themselves and that are content and comfortable within themselves. I'm telling you, in my opinion, there's nothing more powerful than that, because you know yourself. You know how to protect your energy. You preserve your energy. You're not out here wasting it on people and then feeling drained in the end, and there's no energy for yourself because you're too busy putting your energy into other people and they're draining you and they're using all your energy up just for you to go home exhausted mentally and physically and hating your life and hating the way you were and saying, I wish I didn't do this, I wish I didn't say this. I don't think I've ever stepped out of an environment that led me to saying, oh, I regret doing this, I regret being like this, because I am my authentic self every single day in social environments and gatherings, and I don't, because I've stopped that people pleasing tendency. I've stopped trying to prove myself to people and making people believe that I'm this person for their approval or just being someone to their liking. You know, selecting new characters as if I'm in a video game or something. I'm just authentically myself, and I know which people to surround myself with, and I know which people not to surround myself with. I know the people that I want to be friends with and the people that I should keep my distance of. So there's definitely something comforting about being an introvert, because I'm not opening up to everyone and anyone, and only selected people truly know my raw personality and my whole package. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with only selected people knowing that and having experienced that. And I'm happy that I have less people rather than an abundance of people, that I don't feel seen, I don't feel worthy when I'm with them, I don't feel respected when I'm with them, I don't feel like that I'm heard. Anything I say is turned against me, or if I set boundaries, suddenly I'm being too much. I want to be able to have relationships with people where I am fully open with and comfortable, and I have good communication with, because communication is so important. It's probably the most important thing in a relationship, you know, friendship or otherwise, because it shows you the level of understanding on each party. It shows you that emotional maturity to have good communication with people. So I'm not trying to be friends with people that I don't have good communication with, because they're not really opening up to me. They're lying behind my back. They're going behind my back. They're not being open. They're being two-faced and fake. Saying that everything is okay, or that they love me, or nothing's wrong, but their actions show otherwise, because I'm an open person, I'm an honest person. I would rather someone tell me if I have upset them in any way than to notice it in their actions and get nothing from them. Get not even a heads up, you know? So I have a lot of values, I have a lot of things that I look for in a friendship and in my relationships. So I'm not going to lower myself, and I'm not going to play this part, be someone I'm not, just for people to think I'm this way or that way. I'm just not gonna, I'm not an actor. I'm not in a theatre. I'm not in a play. This is not a play. This is real life. And I know my worth. I know the people I want to surround myself with. And life is not worth it to be putting yourself in situations where you're in constant negativity, chaos, lack of respect. It's not worth it, because you are the one that's going to be drained in the end. And I don't want to be stressing around my friends. I don't want to have to stress about the people that I'm with, my friends or otherwise. Why would I stress about that? Like, why would I constantly have these anxieties and stress and constant negative thoughts and feeling drained all the time when I'm around people. Why would I put myself through that? I've put myself through that for literally 3/4 of my life. I'm not going to do it again. And I will never do it. So people can think what they want, but I prefer peace over negativity, over unnecessary chaos. Why would I feel ashamed about distancing myself from people that I don't like just to make it seem like that I am this person? Or I just think sometimes people can expect a lot from someone and it being too much and it being overboard and it being overwhelming, because that person feels like that no matter what they do, even if it is to protect their peace, even if they leave the environment in a graceful way that is not hurting anyone, that is not negative, or expressing myself in a way that is, irrational. It's just crazy to me how even when you do something for your own peace, for your own good, because you're tired of the suffering, you're tired of constantly having stress about certain people in your life. And unfortunately, some people won't understand that. They will still expect you to show up in the way that they want you to show up. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be a puppet. I'm not going to be controlled. I can be in a gathering, but I don't need to talk to people that I don't want to talk to. I don't need to be friendly with people that clearly I have no interest in. I'm not disrespectful in any means, even to those that have hurt me and that I've had a past with, or that are just not nice people. I'm never disrespectful. I don't lower myself in that way. And I am never that way. And it's not even like I have this mean demeanor or anything, or I'm passive aggressive or anything, because why should I be? I don't care about these people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would I even show up as that energy? So I'm not gonna socialize with people I have no interest in, because what is the point of that? Now, certain people, they're friendly with everyone, and that's okay. That's up to them. But I'm just not that type of person, especially if I know the person that's in front of me. And I just know that they're not the type of people that I want to surround myself with, and I don't want to associate myself with them. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's something powerful about knowing who you surround yourself with. Because I always say this, but you are the people that you surround yourself with. If you're surrounded by negative people, people that gossip, people that put others down, people that are mean to other people, people that walk all over people for their own benefit, and people that are disrespectful and are just not people with good intentions, you will be like them. However, if you're with positive people, people that have confidence, people that have ambition, people that have goals, people that have a good personality, that are kind, that are generous, that are considerate, that are empathetic, that are respectful, that have good manners, you will be like them. I'm telling you, the people that you surround yourself with have an effect. on how you show up as a person as well. You might think, oh no, I'm not going to get affected by this. They can't shake me. These people that are so negative, that are so mean, I can just sit with them. But with time, you even start to talk like them. You start to think like them. You start to make jokes about things that are not acceptable and rude jokes, thinking it's okay, thinking it's just jokes, it's not that serious. But it is serious. With time, you become them. The same way with harmful substances. You could be surrounded by people and you think, oh, I'm not going to take this, But with time, they start to make you believe that this is okay and it's just for fun. Stuff like that. This is for every example. Like, this applies to everything in life, basically. If you're surrounded by it, the more tempted, the more the resistance weakens with time, the more you actually start to become it or consume it. So I won't be surrounded by people that I don't like. I won't be talking and conversating with people I have no interest in, because what is the point? If people don't like that, that's their opinion, that's up to them, that's their perception. But then again, I am not living to prove myself to anyone. I'm not living for their approval. I'm not living to make people happy. That is not my life's purpose, because in the end, everyone will leave this earth by themselves. You're not going to have your friend by your side, whilst you're buried like 6 feet under. It doesn't work like that. Everyone has a mission, everyone has a purpose. And what I won't do is live my life chasing other people's approval or trying to make them believe that I am this way. Even if I am, I don't need to prove it to anyone. The people that believe it will believe it. The people that choose to not believe it, whatever I do, whatever I say won't change their mind unless they change that within themselves. Life's too short to be chasing after people's approval. Because who are they, and at the end of the day, what have they done to deserve that kind of status? Like, who are they to have that role in your life that you're so desperate for their attention and their approval? Who are they and what have they done to deserve that? And frankly, even the people that you like, you don't need to prove yourself to them. If they don't believe you, they don't believe you. People should believe you if you have good intentions and if you haven't done anything wrong, and if you haven't hurt anyone, if you haven't disrespected anyone. But people are choosing to label you as this character, try to judge you, blame you for things that you didn't do, put words into your mouth. Those people were never your friends in the first place. Those people were never the right people to associate with in the first place, because everyone has a choice in this world. Everyone has a choice to believe and to not believe. People have a choice to keep their mouth shut and not speak badly about other people, not shame people, not talk down on people, not bully people, not mock people, not judge them. People have a choice to not do that. But when people do that, that says more on their character, that says more on their morals. When people just turn the other way, turn their head, shut their eyes, not listen to what's been said, not seeing what's around them, and just constantly thinking that their opinion is the truth. That is all them. That is a choice. Nobody is forced to act this way. no matter what. So whatever people say about you, whatever people think, if it's not true, it can't shake you. It can't do anything to you, because I'm telling you, when you know your truth, you stop proving yourself to people. You have this inner peace inside of you because you know who you are. You know the type of person you are. You know the type of friend you are. You know what role you play in this life. So whatever people say, when you know your truth, that is it. That's it. That's all that matters. So no, being an introvert is not bad. Being an introvert is okay. It's better than okay. Being an introvert has nothing to do with you personally. It has nothing to do with your character. It's just naturally who you are. It's the energy that you have. Because as an introvert, something that I always tell people is that it's hard for me to socialize when it's late. Like if it gets late and I'm out and about or I'm socializing, my energy gets depleted so much that I need to go home. Like obviously when I'm with my friends, or when I'm with my closest friends, when I'm with the people that I'm content, most happiest with, most comfortable with, I can sit and that's it. And I can feel happy because I'm surrounded by people that I love and that love me and that I'm happy with and that they're happy with me and that I'm content with and they're content with me. So I don't need to prove myself. I don't need to think of something to say. I can just sit in the silence and be happy because I don't need to force something. I don't need to act. I don't need to prove myself. So why would I do that to strangers? Why would I do that to people that I don't like and that don't like me and that clearly don't respect me? Why would I show up as a person just so other people see that, just so other people see myself as this type of person? So, yeah. The main thing is that you surround yourself with positive people that have good traits, people that have self-awareness, that have boundaries, that have discipline, that have good morals, people that have ambition, people that have deep understanding, people that have deep understanding, people that have empathy, people that respect others, people that have good communication skills. Because the more you surround yourself with those types of people, it elevates you in terms of those traits. You become better at those traits as well. So always try to be friends with people that you want to be more like and that you are inspired by. Please don't waste your time with people that you have no interest in, that, personalities are unfortunately bad. They do things that upset you, they disrespect you, they walk all over you. They're not actually listening to what you're saying. They don't have good communication skills. In short, people that you just don't like and that clearly don't respect you and don't like you. Because why would you do that? I don't understand. Just for people to think that you're this social person, that you have loads of friends and blah blah blah. But you're going to feel drained at the end when you come home, when you go back home after socializing with those types of people. You'll be so unhappy. You're unhappy in the process as well. You're unhappy while socializing with them because you're not actually being yourself. You're not actually being authentic to yourself. You're not honest. You're playing this act just so people like you, just so people accept you. But then you come home feeling drained, feeling like they sucked out your energy. You feel so miserable. You feel so upset with yourself and you suddenly have lots of insecurities as well, and you don't feel secure and safe with those people because you always feel like that you need to show up as this person so they accept you. But I'm telling you, when you show up authentically yourself, if people decide to accept you for who you are, people decide to be friends with you after seeing your authentic self, then you found your match, you found your people. But when people don't and shame you or disrespect you, the best you can do is just walk away and not try to prove yourself, because in the process of you proving yourself, you are disrespecting yourself and lowering yourself to people that don't actually care about you. Because I'm telling you, when people care, they will show you. They will show you and you will know and you will feel it. You will never, ever believe otherwise. You won't doubt it. You won't doubt if you're cared for. You won't doubt if you're loved, if you're respected. Because if you see it and if you feel it and if you actually experience it, there won't be any doubt in your mind if people actually like you or respect you, because not only they will say it, they will show it. And actions is everything. Obviously, it's nice to hear it, but if the words aren't backed with actions, you have your answer. It's not complicated. It's not that difficult. Okay, we have reached the end of this episode. That was my take on this whole topic because I've been wanting to talk about it for a long time, but before I record an episode, I always like to experience it in some way before talking about it, even though everything that I wrote down is something that I have experienced or that I have insight on or that I just want to talk about. I just feel like for me, whenever I record an episode, I always like to experience it, like recently, like just now experiencing it, because I feel like that's when I really am able to form the correct words and explain it in a way that is relevant and that is in a way that is understandable and something that I relate to, because I deeply relate to this, but even more now because it's something that I experience and that I have experienced recently and that I have actually talked to one of my closest friends with. So yeah, just know that there's nothing wrong with being an introvert. I know that sometimes it can seem that people shine it in a bad light and that people think that introverts are these kind of people, they're not social, they hate human beings or something, or they are misunderstanding of what an introvert actually is. And there's loads of misconceptions about being an introvert. But just know that don't feel like that you need to be an extrovert to feel like that you're worthy in society or you deserve to have friends or something, because being an introvert has nothing to do with the quality of friends that you have or your personality or your social skills. It has nothing to do with that. It's just something that you have naturally, and it's just a matter of accepting yourself, because I feel like in this day and age especially, I just feel like being an introvert is seen as a bad thing, and it's something that is quite unfortunate, honestly, because I feel like as an introvert people expect so much from you, to the point where they expect too much and they want you to fully change yourself into a person that pleases them, and you fully, going against yourself because they want to see you as this type of person, but it's not actually you. It's just something that I have dealt with and that I deal with. So, yeah, even if introverts, or not just introverts, people in general, extroverts, people that are in the middle, I hope people in general just listen to this and come out of this episode kind of with a new perspective about introverts and realizing if they have maybe expected too much from them and asked too much from people that are introverts. I really hope that people see this as an opportunity to think about what an introvert really is, instead of forming and assuming and predicting and judging, being misinformed or projecting onto introverts and basing that person based on their own personal opinion of them or what they classify them to be, even if that's not really them. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. I greatly appreciate it. Comments will be open and I'll be waiting to hear your review, and liking and rating my podcast will be greatly appreciated. I would love to hear your ideas for my new upcoming episode. I love and appreciate you all. Stay tuned for my new episode. Bye!